Hey guys, this is Brianna Prince. Today is August 26, 2023, day 57 of the challenge. And today was the first day of the conference that I mentioned that I will be attending all weekend. So today was day one. And the conference, the speaker is a gentleman named Peter Fortunato. So Peter Fortunato is a huge creative real estate guy, or at least that's what I refer to him as, creative real estate. And getting the chance to actually speak with him, or not even just speak with him. I spoke with him a little bit a few days ago, but actually to hear him explain how he does real estate was actually really creative and interesting. How he goes about, kind of, I guess, exchanging properties and how he buys his properties, how he's built his wealth, and things like that. So, yeah, he really opened up my eyes at least into seeing how creative you can be in order to purchase property. So, for example, he even talked about one instance in which, there was a lady that was selling her child, or not her childhood home, but the home where she raised her kids in. And there was an offer for, this is in a different state, guys, not California. So there was an offer for $350,000 for the property, where I guess it was I don't know who the guy was. He was some kind of, I think, an investor, perhaps. And he was going to bulldoze the house down and pay her off, bulldoze the house down, and I guess start all over or something, or do some kind of development there. Whereas Pete, he takes a different approach, and he really tries to, or he does, essentially find out what exactly the person needs and wants and needs, right? So in this situation, she had the offer for 350,000, but Pete understood that what was important to this lady was that this was the house that she raised her family in. So the house was really important to her. So he ended up with being able to offer 261,000 for the property, and the lady actually accepted his offer because Pete was gonna, basically do right by her property, and take care of it the way she would have expected it to be taken care of. So that was interesting. I'm like, wow, that's a huge price difference. I'm surprised she didn't go with the higher offer, but his point in saying that, and a whole bunch of other stories, is that money is never, at least according to Pete, and he's been doing this for, I think he said almost 60 years or 50 years, something like that, a long time, decades. And something that he said is that it's never about the money. It's about what someone's going to do with that money. And he even used examples on how he has traded. He talked about one example where this gentleman was selling a house. He needed $150,000 so that way he can go buy something else. Something, I can't remember what it was, but essentially the gentleman needed this money, so Pete ends up offering him basically what he's looking for. But he is just so creative with how he does it. It's by, so for example, there was one where he was like, okay, I'm gonna give this man needed $5,000 because he wanted to buy a car for his daughter. So he ended up making an offer for $5,000. He offered the gentleman a car, and I think it was two cruises, um, which Pete would pay for in exchange for a house. And the guy ended up accepting his offer. I was like, wow, that's so interesting. People are actually willing to do that. And Pete's all talking about it's all about value and things like that. So I'm just like, okay, so this is a new way of thinking. And actually, I appreciate the club that I'm part of. This is one of my real estate clubs called the Inland Empire Real Estate Investment Club. And with this club, I've appreciated it because I have learned to think a little bit differently, and have gotten a lot more creative. I've never been the creative type, but I have gotten a lot more creative just by being around uh, these people. And they have an event on Thursdays that I always go to, or generally go to, where it kind of forces you to kind of think outside the box a little bit, or at least it helps me to think outside the box. And yeah, it's wow. I ended up. It's funny because when I started going to this club at the end of October, and in November, I made an offer actually to the club and said, hey, I would, because Pete, we've been planning for Pete to come for basically almost a year, and due to some health issues, originally he was supposed to come in March, but due to some health issues, he wasn't able to make it, so we had to reschedule for August, which is how we're having this event now. The offer that I ended up making to the club, because everyone was telling me, oh, P, if you think this is confusing, P is much worse in the sense that his concepts are very complex, and everyone was telling me it was going to go over my head. I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to pay for something if it's going to go over my head. So I ended up making an offer, or someone helped me make an offer to the club, to help out at all the events leading up to um, Pete's class. And so I ended up making that offer, and I'm so grateful I did. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and learning more from him. Unfortunately, I will have to leave early because I do have my radio show. So my radio show is tomorrow, since tomorrow's Sunday, is every Sunday from 2 to 3 o'clock. But that's fun. I'm gonna be meeting with someone I actually met at a conference a couple, or no, that was just in July. So her and I have gotten very familiar with each other, and are really looking forward to working together and growing our wealth together. But yeah, anyway, we're going to learn more about her and her business, Carla. So I'm super excited about that for tomorrow. But yeah, this is so make sure you guys tune in and listen in on the radio show. It's at the KCAA radio station. That's on 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, or you can listen live at kcaaradio.com. Anyway, this is Brianna. This is my journey to business and entrepreneurship. I will see you guys tomorrow.